Imagine a future where you no longer have to worry about income taxes, no more deductions from your paycheck, no more agonizing over filing taxes every year. Instead, the government runs solely on tariffs, a tax on imported goods. This might sound like a dream to some, but it's exactly what former President Donald Trump suggested, replacing income taxes with a 10% tariff on imports.
He is toying with the biggest tax cut of all, no income taxes.
I think tariffs are the most beautiful word. I think they're beautiful. It's going to make us rich.
Did you just float out the idea of getting rid of income taxes and replacing it with tariffs?
Well, okay.
Were you serious about that?
Yeah, sure, but why not?
This would be the biggest transfer of wealth in the history of this country.
Can you guarantee American families won't pay more?
Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, a first ever crypto-friendly SEC chairman.
Chris, now this is a controversial proposal and one that would completely reshape the way the U.S. economy operates. Would it make the country richer, or would it lead to an economic disaster? Could tariffs really replace federal income tax, and if so, what would that mean for you as an everyday citizen? In this video, we'll break it all down. We're going to dive into what tariffs are, how they function, and whether or not this proposal could succeed in the long run. Along the way, we'll explore the potential impacts on the American economy, the average family, the global trade system, and most importantly, how this would affect you. But before we dive into the complexities of tariffs, don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoy content like this, and consider subscribing for more deep dives into current events and economic trends. Thanks for joining me on this journey. What exactly is a tariff? Before we get into the politics and economics of tariffs, let's first make sure we understand what a tariff is. Simply put, a tariff is an additional tax that a government imposes on imported goods. It's a way to make foreign products more expensive, theoretically making local products more attractive by comparison. Let's break it down with an example. Imagine Mexico exports toilet paper to the U.S. for $1 per roll. At the same time, American-made toilet paper costs $2 per roll. The U.S. government decides to impose a 100% tariff on the Mexican toilet paper. This means that now, both the Mexican toilet paper and the American-made toilet paper cost $2 per roll. The logic behind this is that with the Mexican product now costing the same as the U.S. product, consumers would have an incentive to buy the domestic option, since there's no price difference. And in the process, the U.S. government raises money through the tariff. But there's one major catch. Who pays the tariff? Many people assume that the exporting country, in this case Mexico, would pay the tariff. But in reality, the importer, the U.S. company, pays it. This means that if a company like Apple imports goods from Mexico, Apple is responsible for paying the tariff, not Mexico. In most cases, the importer passes this additional cost on to the consumer. This could lead to higher prices for the consumer on many goods. So now we have to look at how this all fits into Trump's plan to replace income taxes with tariffs. Could a system based on tariffs really support an economy as large as the U.S.? Could tariffs replace income taxes? Donald Trump's proposal is bold, revolutionary, and in many ways sounds almost too good to be true. Imagine the U.S. government no longer relying on income taxes to fund its operations. Instead, all of its expenses are funded by tariffs on imported goods. No more filing taxes, no more paycheck deductions. Would this make the U.S. richer, or would it lead to significant financial turmoil? Let's explore the potential benefits and risks of such a monumental shift. Benefits of tariffs. 1. Protection for local industries. One of the primary reasons that governments impose tariffs is to protect domestic industries from foreign competition. If foreign goods are taxed, then local products become more competitive. This encourages consumers to buy domestically produced goods, thereby giving local businesses a much-needed boost. For example, if the U.S. imposes a tariff on imported electronics, American companies like Apple and Dell would benefit from the reduced competition. Foreign electronics would become more expensive, making the domestic options more attractive. This could encourage more people to buy American-made products, which in turn could result in increased production and job creation. When local businesses thrive, it often leads to job creation within those industries. More jobs mean more spending power, which then leads to increased demand for goods and services, contributing to economic growth. 2. Job creation. One of the benefits often touted by supporters of tariffs is that they could stimulate job creation. As local industries grow and need more workers to keep up with demand, employment numbers can rise. If U.S. businesses become more competitive due to tariffs, they may need to hire more workers to produce more goods. With more jobs being created, the unemployment rate could decrease, which in turn stimulates the economy. For example, industries like manufacturing, agriculture, and construction could see job growth as more Americans turn to local goods and services. In theory, tariffs could help stimulate job markets and reduce unemployment, which benefits the overall economy. 3. Increased government revenue. Tariffs also generate significant revenue for the government. This revenue can be used to fund government services, infrastructure projects, or even pay off national debt. With tariffs in place, the government can collect money without relying on income taxes. The potential income from tariffs could be massive. The U.S. imports trillions of dollars worth of goods each year, meaning even a small percentage tariff could generate billions of dollars for the federal government. For instance, a 10% tariff on imported goods could bring in tens of billions of dollars annually, which could be used for everything from rebuilding infrastructure to supporting healthcare and education. 4. Potential for more favorable trade deals. By imposing tariffs, the U.S. could use its economic power to leverage better trade deals with other countries. For instance, if the U.S. imposes tariffs on imports from China or Mexico, these countries might negotiate with the U.S. for better deals on their exports in exchange for reduced tariffs. This could help the U.S. secure better trade terms, encouraging other countries to buy more U.S. products, and further balancing trade deficits. This type of negotiation leverage could be key in reducing the trade imbalance and ensuring that the U.S. gets better terms in global trade agreements. Risks of tariffs. While the benefits of tariffs can be tempting, the risks are equally significant. Let's take a closer look at the potential downsides of such a drastic economic shift. 1. Higher consumer prices. One of the most obvious and immediate drawbacks of tariffs is that they increase the prices consumers pay for goods. Since companies often pass the cost of tariffs on to the consumer, everyday items like electronics, clothing, and food could become more expensive. The average American family could end up paying hundreds or even thousands of dollars more each year for the same goods. Imagine a situation where a 10% tariff is placed on all electronics. A $500 smartphone might now cost $550. A $1,000 laptop might increase to $1,100. Over time, these increases would add up, potentially causing a significant financial strain on everyday consumers, especially in the middle and lower end brackets. 2. Global retaliation. If the U.S. imposes tariffs on foreign products, other countries may retaliate by imposing tariffs on American exports. This creates the risk of a trade war, where both sides raise tariffs on each other's goods, leading to higher costs for consumers and businesses in both countries. For example, if China imposes tariffs on U.S. soybeans or automobiles in retaliation for U.S. tariffs, American businesses that rely on exports could see their profits drop significantly. This would hurt farmers, manufacturers, and other sectors of the economy that depend on international trade. 3. Economic slowdown. Higher tariffs can lead to a global economic slowdown. If countries around the world start imposing tariffs on each other, global trade could decline, leading to reduced profits, job losses, and slower economic growth. This could even trigger a global recession, as we saw during the Great Depression in the 1930s. During the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act of 1930, tariffs on over 200 imported goods led to retaliatory tariffs from other countries, resulting in a dramatic reduction in global trade. This worsened the economic collapse, contributing to the deepening of the Great Depression. 4. Decreased innovation and competition. Without competition from foreign products, American companies could become complacent. Innovation often thrives in competitive environments. If domestic companies no longer face pressure from international firms, they may have less incentive to innovate or improve their product. For instance, industries like electronics or automotive manufacturing could see a slowdown in innovation if they no longer have to compete with advanced foreign technology. This could hinder the U.S. in keeping up with global technological advancements and economic trends. Historical context: the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act. To better understand the potential effects of tariffs, it's helpful to look at history. One of the most notable examples of tariffs gone wrong is the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act of 1930, which was enacted during the Great Depression. The act imposed tariffs on more than 200 imported goods, hoping to protect American jobs and industries from foreign competition. Unfortunately, other countries retaliated by imposing tariffs on American exports. This led to a massive decline in global trade, which caused businesses to shutter, jobs to be lost, and unemployment to skyrocket. Economists often cite the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act as a key factor in deepening the Great Depression. Even today, tariffs are controversial due to the risk of retaliatory tariffs and their potential to lead to economic contraction. The lesson from history is clear. While tariffs can provide short-term benefits, they often come with significant long-term risks. What would Trump's tariff plan look like? So let's talk specifics. What would happen if Trump's proposed tariff plan were enacted? In late 2023, Trump suggested imposing a 10% tariff on Chinese imports, with the possibility of even higher tariffs on goods from Mexico and Canada. His goal? To encourage other nations to purchase more U.S. goods and to address issues like illegal immigration and drug trafficking. While this proposal might seem promising on the surface, there are several significant challenges. 1. Tariff revenue might not be enough. The U.S. imports over $2 trillion worth of goods annually. Even if tariffs were applied to everything, it's unlikely that this would generate enough revenue to replace income taxes. In 2022, tariffs raised about $80 billion, enough to fund the government for only a few weeks. 2. Economic backlash. The risk of retaliatory tariffs from countries like China, Mexico, and Canada could seriously harm the U.S. economy. American businesses that rely on exports could lose significant revenue. 3. The unlikely elimination of income taxes. Tariffs are unlikely to fully replace income taxes. With the U.S. government's massive budget needs, it's unrealistic to expect tariffs to provide enough revenue to cover all expenses. 4. Global trade could suffer. If tensions rise between the U.S. and its trading partners, tariffs could spark a global trade conflict, reducing global economic growth and investment. What does this mean for you? Now let's talk about how this impacts you. If tariffs replaced income taxes, what would life look like for the average American? 1. Higher prices for goods. With higher tariffs on imports, you would likely see prices for everyday items increase. Electronics, food, and clothing could all become more expensive. 2. Job creation in certain industries. Some industries might benefit from protectionist policies, especially those competing with foreign imports. However, not all industries would benefit equally. 3. Political uncertainty. Trade wars are unpredictable, and as tariffs increase, economic instability could make the job market more uncertain. Conclusion. Replacing income taxes with tariffs is an ambitious idea that sounds appealing to some, but the complexities involved are far greater than they might initially seem. While tariffs could provide revenue and protect local industries, the risks, higher prices, retaliatory tariffs, and economic slowdowns are significant. For now, it seems unlikely that tariffs could fully replace income taxes. The U.S. would need to explore other strategies to reduce its deficits and spending without resorting to trade wars or protectionism. So, what do you think? Could tariffs really replace income taxes? Or is this just an economic fantasy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon for more insightful content. Thanks for watching.